Another news last night, Woj was on ESPN's mock draft special show, and he said that the Lakers, Mavericks, and Knicks will be the teams that will be, quote, very interested in three-time All-Star and unrestricted free agent Kemba Walker. Now, in a recent interview with The Athletic, Kemba said Charlotte was his first priority. But, Tracy, which team do you think will be the best for Kemba? Remember, he can get a lot more money from the Hornets.
Yeah, and you know I'm all about securing that bag.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
I'm all about securing that bag, but will Charlotte give him that Supermax contract? Right? We don't know. For me, I don't know what team best fits Kemba, but him giving his all for eight straight years for Charlotte and not having a team around him, not playing with an elite player, I just want him to go somewhere where he has the opportunity to join forces with another elite talent, because he hasn't had that in his 8 years in Charlotte.
So let's say that the Lakers don't land one of the top three or four free agents, of which Kemba is not. I mean, he's an A-level free agent. In my mind, he's not an A-plus free agent. And let's say they don't land Anthony Davis. Let's say their attempts don't land Anthony Davis. Kemba Walker and LeBron James could be very, very intriguing. The question that the Lakers have to make is, with Rich Paul coming out and saying, we're going to free agency with Anthony Davis, do you go for Kemba Walker? Do you go for Jimmy Butler, tie up your cap, and not have a chance to get Anthony Davis in 2020? Or do you say, let's roll the dice another year?
Well, I think the Lakers are going to have answers sooner rather than later if David Griffin does what Adrian's article a few days ago said, which was that Griff wants to make this deal not only at draft time, but before the draft, because he wants time to assess any picks that he gets and start interviewing those players and talking to them. If that happens, the Lakers will know what they have on their hands going into free agency, even if it's Anthony Davis with, as we pointed out, not able to sign an extension. They'll at least know how much of a possibility that possibility is. My hope for Kemba is this. I hope he either does get offered the big bag in Charlotte, because he has shown such loyalty to that franchise, and he decides, okay, probably not going to go far in the playoffs, staying with this team the way it is right now and is constructed and sort of going forward for the rest of the prime of his career, but I'm going to be the guy in Charlotte. I'm going to have my jersey retired in the rafters, right? Who did the Grizzlies retire last year? Was it Tony Allen's jersey?
They should. I don't know if they did.
Or one of the Grit and Guy guys, and they're going to retire the other ones. And just that idea of, hey, you were the character of our team, and he can be Charlotte and also get a lot of money. Or I hope he goes and signs somewhere, to your point, Mac, where he has maybe not just one, but a couple elite players around him, because I do think that if he's going to leave, he should leave for a chance to really win. And I worry about a little bit deep in the playoffs, just because of his size, not because of his play, about other teams picking on him, right, defensively and things. So I want him to be surrounded by other players where they can't do that.
Something I just need to point out with him. You talked about securing the bag. He was one of the guys who fell on the wrong side of the cap spike.
Yep.
He just had a 4-year, $48 million contract, which is spectacular money, but he was vastly, vastly underpaid by the Hornets the last few years. So that comes into effect when if the Hornets ask him to take a discount, he'd be like, I've been on a discount for 4 years.
I think to stay in Charlotte, they got to offer him the Supermax.
I think so.
I mean,
and I just don't know if they will.
That would be the reason for me. And I don't know if it's the smartest thing for their franchise to do that, but if I'm Kemba, I would say, this is what you need to offer me to stay, Michael Jordan. It's going to be interesting.